This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Monday, the 5th day of January in the year 2026. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. Guyana continues to monitor the situation in neighboring Venezuela, according to President Irfan Ali. Today, the deposed Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife stood in a Manhattan courthouse in New York and declared their innocence of drug trafficking and gun-running charges, as alleged by the U.S. government. Maduro and his wife, who were both captured by U.S. military agents during an early morning Saturday operation in Venezuela, were whisked off to New York by Saturday evening and made their first court appearance this midday. Maduro told the court that he is the president of a sovereign nation and is innocent of all the charges contained in the U.S. indictment against him. His wife, Celia Flores, also entered a not guilty plea as they both stood in the courtroom with a battery of lawyers at their side. Having listened to initial pleadings in the case, the judge ordered that the two remain in custody. Their next court appearance will be in March. More details are coming to light on the U.S. military operation that captured the Venezuelan leader and his wife, leaving scores of members of their security teams dead, according to Venezuelan media. The operation was launched just after 10 p.m. on Friday night, but the U.S. team moved in over Venezuela at around 2 o'clock on Saturday morning, striking several targets, including military stockyards and government security facilities. Within 2 hours, Maduro and his wife were captured and flown out of the country. The vice president of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, has since been sworn in as the interim president, as the U.S. faces international criticism over its operation. At a press conference on Saturday, the U.S. President Donald Trump said the U.S. will be running the country until it's ready for a smooth transition. He said major oil companies will also be moving to fix the country's oil facilities.
We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. And it has to be judicious because that's what we're all about.
But since then, U.S. officials have been offering different explanations as to how exactly the running of Venezuela will be done by the U.S. government. The United Nations Security Council also convened a special meeting today, where the majority of its members openly lashed out at the U.S. for its actions in Venezuela. More news coming up in a moment.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look. You know the one. Or one touch. Even one word. I can start with one step. Or one promise. One thrill. One first time. One deep breath. One leap of faith. One day to remember. Or one night to forget. One moment. So many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life. Just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Ready to position your brand at the heart of the region's most influential energy event? The Guyana Energy Conference and Supply Chain Expo invites you to become a sponsor and connect directly with leaders shaping the future of energy and industry. Choose from 4 powerful tiers: Platinum, Diamond, Gold, and Silver. As a sponsor, your brand takes center stage, from live press conferences and magazine features to exclusive speaking opportunities and top-tier visibility across every major platform. Enjoy premium exhibition booths, media coverage, and access to hundreds of industry professionals and decision makers. Whether you want to lead discussions, host networking events, or elevate your brand presence, sponsorship puts your company at the forefront of opportunity and innovation.
Hi, miss. It's lovely to see you again. Here you go. Are you interested in purchasing the Christmas cookies? Sure.
Happy holiday, Mom.
Sometimes all it takes is a kind word, a gentle smile, a moment of care.
Did you have a magical trip today?
Oh, yes, I did.
At Massey Stores, the magic of Christmas isn't in the decorations. It's in the people who make you feel seen.
We finance everything with Courts Ready Finance, from educational expenses and those unplanned emergencies. Get it done with financing through Courts Ready Finance. All you need to apply is a valid ID, proof of income, proof of address, and 2 references. Get quick approval and flexible monthly installments, plus credit protection insurance. Apply in store or online at courts.com. Courts Ready Finance. Ready when you are. Conditions apply.
GECOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise to produce an official list of electors, OLE. Anyone who became 18 years or older on December 31, 2025 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GECOM has posted the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. If you have changed your address since you were registered, you need to visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your new area of residence to apply for a transfer. Sunday, January 18, 2026 is the last day you can apply for a transfer during this exercise. For more information, contact GECOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gecom.org.gy.
Welcome back. Well, Acting Chief Justice Lavendra Singh today rejected an application by Nazar and Azruddin Mohamed to have the extradition hearing in the Georgia Magistrates Court halted, pending the hearing and determination of a fixed date application challenging the constitutionality of the Fugitive Offenders Amendment Act. In his written judgment, the Acting Chief Justice said, while the Mohammeds are entitled to pursue their constitutional challenge in the High Court, they have not met the high threshold required for the interim relief sought. He said the constitutional motion brought by the Mohammeds can proceed concurrently with the extradition process without the risk of injustice. The ruling therefore paves the way for the proceedings in the Magistrates Court before Principal Magistrate Judy Latchman to continue. Attorney General Senior Counsel Anil Nandlal, the respondent in the case, welcomed today's ruling.
The decision of the Lord Chief Justice is in alignment with the policy of the law, the provisions of the law, and the existing judicial authorities in Guyana, across the Caribbean, North America, and Commonwealth on this matter. In my submissions, I drew attention to a series of cases from Guyana, from the Caribbean, from North America, and from other parts of the Commonwealth, in an effort to show the judge the approach that has been taken in extradition matters in relation to matters of this nature, which are called interlocutory matters that seek to delay and protract the committal hearing from taking place. And the courts have universally and uniformly have rejected any type of intervention that seeks to stay stop or delay the committal hearing from taking place.
Nandlal also told reporters that the application filed by the Mohammeds through their attorney Royce Hill Ford was premature.
Post the committal hearing, there is an elaborate regime of challenges that the law provides for any party who is aggrieved by the committal hearings ruling, either side. And in that regime of procedure, there is a built-in mechanism that stays the extradition process while those challenges are being exercised by either party.
But Senior Counsel Ford rejected the ruling of the acting Chief Justice and vowed to challenge it at the level of the full court.
We are disappointed that the Chief Justice did not find that on the arguments and having regard to the circumstances of this case, that a stay was warranted in the circumstances. We disagree with the decision respectfully, and we will be filing an appeal to the full court, and we will be seeking a stay of the proceedings at the level of the full court.
Ford argued that should the principal magistrate proceed with the case in the magistrate's court while the fixed date application is being heard in the High Court, the Mohammeds are likely to be prejudiced. As such, he said he is prepared to have the issues ventilated all the way up to the Caribbean Court of Justice.
I want the public to understand that this case raises thorny issues going back for many, many years of conflicting decisions given by different courts at different levels. I have long said to you and the members of the media and to our clients that this will be a long, arduous process. It cannot result in any sort of quick fix. Even if the stay was granted today, there will be ultimately the very issues that we wish to have determined will have to go through the appellate process all the way to the Court of Appeal, then onwards to the CCJ. These are grave and important issues, and we will be pursuing them to the maximum capacity that we could present to the courts.
While the stay has not been granted, the substantive application in the High Court will continue. In that matter, the Mohammeds are challenging the constitutionality of the Fugitive Offenders Amendment Act. Meanwhile, the extradition case in the Georgetown Magistrates Court is expected to continue tomorrow before the principal magistrate. But already Ford has signaled his intention to raise a number of issues that could potentially delay the proceedings. The father and son are facing an 11-count indictment in Florida related to allegations of mail and wire fraud and money laundering and tax evasion related to gold exports from Guyana. We return now to the developments in neighboring Venezuela, warning that continued violation of international laws by superpowers like the US can have major implications for sovereign states like Guyana. Former President of Guyana, Donald Ramotar, today lashed out at the US over its capture of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife during a military operation in Venezuela on Saturday. Hours after the bombing of Caracas and the capture of the Venezuelan president and his wife, the former president of Guyana said the U.S. has taken the world back to the days of gunboat diplomacy. In an interview with News Source this afternoon, Mr. Ramotar said just like Israel, the United States continues to violate international laws with impunity. And if not stopped, countries like Guyana can forget about what it means to be sovereign.
To move into a country, the sovereign country, and to arrest the president and his wife in the dead of night and take them away, it's a violation of international law. It continues the damage of our international institutions, and it is gradually, if a stop is not put to it, if we do not re-establish international law for all of us, then countries like ours can forget the term sovereignty, that we will have no sovereignty, that we'll have to do whatever we are told to do by any big power that feels that they have the military might to dictate their positions.
Ramotar said there are major implications for not only Latin America and the Caribbean, but the world at large. His comments are in contrast to those of President Irfan Ali, who said his government welcomes the leadership of the President of the United States in reaffirming shared commitments to freedom, democracy, and regional security. Former President Ramotar said while Venezuela has falsely laid claim to 2/3 of Guyana's territory, and Guyana appreciates the support of the U.S. in pushing back against such baseless claims, the country should not turn a blind eye to the violation of international law and the destruction of the international institutions.
I think it's in the interest of Guyana, my view is the interest of Guyana, to stand up for international law, because that is what will protect us more than anything else. Small country like Guyana needs to be protected by international law. Otherwise, the law of the jungle will prevail and we will be at the mercy of the whims and fancies of any powerful country that got their eyes on us. So I understand why some people feel, because Venezuela has this unjustified claim on us, and the United States has come out in support of us, and which all of us would be very happy about. That is laudable, but I don't think that will justify us from closing our eyes from the violation of international law and the destruction of international institutions.
Ahead of Saturday's attacks, the U.S., while describing Maduro as a narco-trafficker, carried out a number of airstrikes in the Caribbean Sea, targeting suspected drug boats from Venezuela. President Ali on numerous occasions said Guyana was in full support of the actions of the U.S., noting that the narco trade has had a negative impact on the region. But former President Ramotar said there is no evidence to support the claims of the U.S., particularly in regards to Maduro.
All the experts are saying that is not true. That even if you look at the United Nations report in 2025 about narcotics, Venezuela is mentioned once in that report, and where they say a small amount of drugs pass through Venezuela going to Europe and to the United States. And the European Union 2025 reports on the narcotics trade does not even mention Venezuela one time. And therefore, I am saying that this is a pretext. To kill people.
The former president of Guyana said while reports indicate that 32 Cubans were among those killed in last Saturday's strikes, the total death toll is not yet known. He believes many countries in the region should be worried about the actions of the United States. Well, less than a week after demanding that all gold miners in Guyana comply with regulations to declare all gold produced for 2025, the Ghana-Georgian Mines Commission today announced the immediate suspension of the gold mining operations for 107 Brazilian nationals in the country. The GGMC said the suspension covers all mining operations, permissions to operate, and any related authorizations, explaining that the suspension shall remain in force pending engagement by the affected miners with the Ghana-Georgian Mines Commission and compliance to the standard and satisfaction of the GGMC. The local address for many of the Brazilian miners was listed as 79 Robb Street in Georgetown, with other addresses including parts of Albertown, Durban Street, and a number of East Bank Demerara villages. Last week, President Irfan Ali met with officials from the Ghana-Georgian Mines Commission, the Natural Resources Ministry, and members of the Gold and Diamond Miners Association. During that meeting, the president directed that immediate action be taken to ensure that all gold miners fully comply with their obligations to declare all gold produced in 2025. It was also directed that all registered dredges with no declaration be deregistered, and all foreign miners operating illegally in the country be identified for prosecution and expulsion. It was noted at the meeting that some Brazilian miners operating in Guyana have had very low or no declarations. Those miners were given 24 hours to comply fully with the laws of the country and the requirement to declare to the Guyana Gold Board.
GECOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise to produce an official list of electors, OLE. Anyone who became 18 years or older on December 31, 2025 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GECOM has posted the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. You can object to anyone who you believe does not qualify for inclusion in the OLE. To do so, you must be listed in the same divisional list as a person you are objecting to. You must visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to make an objection. It is an offense to make false objections. The objections aspect of this exercise will end on Thursday, January 22, 2026. For more information, contact the GECOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gecom.org.gy.
This holiday season, we pause to reflect on what truly brings us together. It's the love and care we share in every interaction, not only within our teams, but also with our customers, partners, and suppliers. The way we collaborate across roles and organizations, supporting one another to achieve more. It's our shared responsibility to deliver excellence at every step. Through growth and continuous improvement, we move forward together.
Happy holidays from our Massey family to yours.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Washi. Hi people. Washing made so easy since I found Washi. Washing me use wash me clothes and I can say wash it soap powder, wash clothes so nice. Wash it soap powder, leave your clothes color bright. Wash it soap powder, leave me clothes smelling nice, of course. So give thanks for wash it soap powder for doing my laundry right. Keep my clothes color bright, have my clothes smelling nice for sure. I could not ask for more. Comes in lemon and original. It is a washing machine in a pack. Wash it soap powder, wash clothes so nice. Wash it soap powder, leave your clothes color bright. Wash it soap powder, have my clothes smelling nice, of course.
Distributors located in the Stabrook Market.
Your business is built on hard work, vision, and the drive to succeed. At GBTI, we understand what it takes to grow. That's why we offer Grow, a small business service designed to help your business expand, adapt, and reach its full potential. From new opportunities to new milestones, we're here to support you every step of the way. Grow from GBTI. Progress starts here.
Hi, my name is Stephen Jacobs, Minister within the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport. Health and fitness is the heart of a strong nation. And when we have strong Guyanese citizens, it helps with discipline and also productivity, and also a long-lasting life for you. So, for that reason, I'm endorsing the Energy Conference run on the 15th of February, 2026. See you there.
GECOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise to produce an official list of electors, OLE. Anyone who became 18 years or older on December 31, 2025 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. GECOM has posted the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. You can make a claim for registration, change or correction to your particulars, or you can object to the inclusion of anyone who you believe should not be on the list. If you are desirous of making a claim or objection, you must visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to do so. Visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to conduct any of the above transactions. All GECOM registration offices will open Mondays to Fridays from 8 to 18 hours, Saturdays and Sundays from 10 to 14 hours. For more information, contact the GECOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gecom.org.gy.
The Georgetown Mayor and City Council is currently examining several options to relocate vendors who ply their trade along city streets. During a council meeting today, Mayor of Georgetown Alfred Mentor said the council is looking to create a greens market for Robb Street vendors who were recently removed from around Yip's Bakery at the corner of Alexander and Robb Streets following a High Court order. The council is looking at the location between Orange Walk and Cumming Street to relocate the vendors as a pilot project and will facilitate drive-through shopping. The mayor said once successful, the pilot project will be replicated around the city. The council has already submitted feasibility studies to the government for the construction of spaces for vendors.
The feasibility studies that we would have provided for border market, right? That speaks of about going up maybe 3 or 4 stories. Again, that feasibility study is before the government for them to treat with so that we can figure out how we can remove or reduce vending along regions and other street places where we will deal with the enforcement, but the development will allow for plenty of spaces in that particular 4-story building that will give you that kind of option that so that we can reduce vending along those different streets.
In central Georgetown, Mayor Mentor said the council is proposing to increase the size of the Stabroek Market, with similar plans highlighted for the Vendors Bazaar and the Vendors Arcade.
Those are plans that are before government. Those are studies that were already done. Those were things that were already approved by us as a council to deal with this issue.
He said while the council has the ideas, it does not have the funds to facilitate the planned expansion and new areas for city markets and new vending areas. Last year, the government budgeted more than $2.7 billion for the upgrades of city markets and vending spaces in Georgetown. But not much work has been done on that initiative, although it should have been undertaken by the government itself. President Irfan Ali today said local aircraft operators will be given time to adjust their price structure for hinterland travel, following the upgrade of several hinterland airstrips, saying that many operators were charging extra for maintenance due to the state of many of the airstrips. For years, the cost of hinterland travel has been a headache, with mounting complaints that the cost to some hinterland areas was exorbitant. Speaking during the commissioning of the upgraded Paramakatoy airstrip in Region 8, the president said government's continued investment must also result in relief for the people who use the service.
Giving them enough time to adjust their costs, because we will not just sit by. We will not just sit by and not allow the benefit of these cost savings to be transferred to the people. Because we want, and we will know by tomorrow which one of the services will announce a reduction in the cost coming to Paramakatoy. Let's see. Because our investment must lead to benefit to the people.
President Ali said similar to mounting calls for there to be more airlift to bring people into the country, there have been similar calls to move people, goods and services from Georgetown to hinterland locations. He said the aim is not to encourage competition in the local aviation sector, but to ensure that people benefit throughout the process.
These investments will make it easier. And I'm going to look forward to see The relocation sector is going to respond to this investment. Because they always say that part of the cost is the state of the airstrip that affect their maintenance. But today, you have a brand new airstrip. Let us see what you will now see.
The president also said a new airstrip will not only increase connectivity, but will build a Region 8 economy with more frequent flights in and out of Paramakatoy. He also spoke of the road network that is being expanded in the region to integrate Regions 8 and 9, which he said will also encourage greater economic activity between those two regions. The leader of the We Invest in Nationhood party, Mohamed, who along with his father has been sanctioned and indicted in U.S. courts, has confirmed that he sold and transferred 11 vehicles to third parties. But he claims that the transactions were all legitimate, as he pushed back against an investigation being done by the Guyana Revenue Authority. The GRA, in announcing a full-scale investigation, said the transfers, which took place between the 27th of November and the 5th of December of last year, were done in breach of regulations associated with transfers of motor vehicles and in contravention of anti-money laundering regulations. But in a statement, Mr. Mohamed, while describing the actions of the GRA as bizarre, challenged the tax authority to identify the law that was breached. Maintaining that the transactions were all legitimate, Mohamed explained that the vehicles transferred were not luxury vehicles, adding that they were all third-hand vehicles which were registered in Guyana, some as long ago as 12 years. The vehicles, he said, included the Toyota Allion, Toyota Fielder, Toyota Land Cruiser, and Toyota Crown. He is convinced that the investigation is part of a campaign against him. He said the insurance companies have all ceased doing business with him, thereby effectively preventing him from obtaining any insurance for his vehicles. On the advice of his lawyer, he's maintaining that there is no law in Guyana that prohibits the importation, ownership, transfer, or use of bulletproof vehicles or vehicles fitted with security features. But Attorney General Anil Nandlal, in a statement, said Mohamed, who he described as a fugitive offender, continues to portray himself as an alleged victim of political persecution, rather than to accept the reality that he's feeling the consequences of sanctions imposed on him, his father, and their businesses by the U.S. Treasury Department. The father and son are currently facing extradition proceedings in the local courts.
First-time homeowner, ready to build a dream house but worried about getting your plans approved? The Single Window Planning Approval System makes it easy. One application, one online platform, faster, simpler house plan approval. Visit our website to kickstart the process at singlewindow.chpa.gov.gy. No running around, no confusion, just clear steps and efficient service, all in one place. Apply, track, and get approved with confidence. The Single Window System, helping first-time homeowners move from planning to building the smart way. Single Window Planning Approval System, designed for transparency, built for convenience.
GECOM is currently conducting a claims and objections exercise to produce an official list of electors, OLE. GECOM has posted the preliminary list of electors, PLE, in all of the registration divisions across Guyana for you to check if you are listed, and if so, whether your particulars are accurate. Anyone who became 18 years or older on December 31, 2025, and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, or naturalization, or a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more, you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE. If you are eligible for inclusion in the OLE, you are required to apply for registration if your name is not on the PLE, apply for a transfer if you've changed your address since you were registered, apply for a name change if you have changed your name, or apply for a correction if your registration particulars are incorrect. Any person applying for a change or correction to his or her particulars must must provide the required original source documents: birth certificate and deed poll for a name change by deed poll, birth certificate and marriage certificate for a name change by marriage, divorce absolute in the case of a woman who is desirous of reverting to her maiden name from her married name, birth certificate, adoption certificate, or naturalization certificate for correction of minor clerical errors. Visit the GECOM registration office responsible for your area of residence to conduct any of the above transactions. The claims aspect of this exercise will end on Sunday, January 18, 2026. For more information, contact GECOM on 225-0278-9 or visit www.gecom.org.gy.
Your business is built on hard work, vision, and the drive to succeed. At GBTI, we understand what it takes to grow. That's why we offer Grow, a small business service designed to help your business expand, adapt, and reach its full potential. From new opportunities to new milestones, we're here to support you every step of the way. Grow from GBTI. Progress starts here.
Something new has been growing, and it's now ready for you to pick.
Fresh.
Taste the Fruta freshness. Pick the fresh new 200 ml size today. Live Frutiful.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guy is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyana's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guy has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall. In the region, Venezuela's Vice President and Oil Minister Delcy Rodriguez was formally sworn in today as the country's interim president as U.S. deposed President Nicolas Maduro appeared in a New York court on drug charges after the Trump administration removed him from power in a dramatic weekend military action. Rodriguez, a 56-year-old labor lawyer known for close connections to the private sector and her devotion to the ruling party, was sworn in by her brother, the head of the National Assembly. Also sworn in today were 283 lawmakers elected last May. Just a small number of the members are classed as opposition. Most of the opposition, especially the faction directed by Nobel Prize winner Machado, boycotted the contest. The only lawmaker not in attendance was First Lady Celia Flores, who is in U.S. custody. The Cuban government says 32 of its nationals were killed during the U.S. operation to seize Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. It described the dead as members of its armed forces and intelligence agencies who were killed in combat actions. It has declared 2 days of national mourning. Cuba, a long-standing ally of Venezuela, has for years supplied Maduro with his personal security detail and has personnel throughout the Venezuelan military. And finally tonight, international news. U.S. President Donald Trump said on Sunday that the United States might launch a second military strike on Venezuela following the capture of President Nicolas Maduro if remaining members of the administration do not cooperate with his efforts to get the country fixed. Trump's comments to reporters aboard Air Force One raised the possibility of further U.S. military interventions in Latin America and suggested Colombia and Mexico could also face military action if they do not reduce the flow of illicit drugs to the United States. Operation Colombia sounds good, Trump said. He also said that Cuba, a close ally of Venezuela, looks like it's ready to fall on its own without U.S. military action. Maduro's capture by the United States has sparked deep uncertainty about what is next for the oil-rich South American nation. Trump said his administration will work with remaining members of the Maduro regime to clamp down on drug trafficking and overhaul its oil industry rather than push for immediate elections to install a new government. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall, wishing you a pleasant evening.